So they announced Shadow of War to... What? Shadow of War? That's shit.
The world of men is ending.
You can sound as dramatic as you want. The name of your game is shit, mate. Shadow of War. That just sounds like a third-person shooter. Anyway, let's not bag on the name too much.
In the fires of Mount Doom, a ranger
Listen to what she has to say.
bound together in death, crafted the one thing that could challenge Sauron.
Oh, that'd be that ring, wouldn't it?
Of power.
That's exactly what I was just saying. It's the ring from the movies, The Lord of the Rings.
But power can blind
The movies are what this game is based on, and also what invented all of the characters in the world. The Peter Jackson, he wrote Lord of the
has
Rings.
returned to Middle-earth
There's
to
Sauron.
rebuild his armies.
I always like the movie design for Sauron. It's a nice spiky armor.
The corruption will be contained no longer.
That's pretty cool. So this is all CG. This is all CG bluster. But it looks nice enough. I think they're showing gameplay like March 7th, March 8th. There's a Balrog with an helmet on. We don't get to see that in the
The
film.
war for Mordor begins.
Alright, creepy. No need for that. So the war has begun. So we're not really in its shadow now. We're in it. If anything, this game should just be called War. I think they're moving like Death Eaters. Does this game have Death Eaters in it? I'll be excited for that. Yeah, I mean, it's very pretty CGI, you know. Can't get... Oh! Look at that. They're acting like Death Eaters from Harry Potter with their... I always liked that effect in those films, all the smoky travelling they do, but...
I'm coming for you.
Naughty. Alright, I think that's the trailer done. There we are, Middle-earth Shadow of War, or as I like to call it, just War. And there we go, March 8th via gameplay. August 20th, I mean, that's not far off. I'm not used to seeing release dates that close to an announcement, but that's something. Of course, we had our usual pre-order now thing. And also, apparently, we've already, like, it's listed on Steam, and there are already microtransactions listed, which it's a Warner Brothers game, and a sequel. Yeah, they're probably going to push that shit. I love pushing that shit! The absolute shit! As far as the first Shadow of Mordor goes, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I didn't think it was quite truly brilliant Game of the Year material, but I enjoyed it. And I should just also point out, full disclosure, I'm not being paid by Warner Brothers to say that. I wasn't part of that promotion. If anything, they took money from me to talk about it, because they content ID'd my video on Shadow of Mordor. But anyway, that's all in the past. Let's not bring that up again, even though I just did. Shadow of Mordor was pretty cool. It was very open-worldy, and when I say something's very open-worldy, I'm not normally being praiseworthy of it. I got issues with open-world games. If you watch the Jimquisition, you might have seen an episode where I talk about them. I think the episode was called Big Empty Sandboxes. Do check it out. But I don't mind an open-world game if they're going to try and do something with the concept beyond just saying, oh look, we've made a really big map. And Shadow of Mordor did that. That's why I liked it. The Nemesis system wasn't the world's biggest game changer, but it was enough. And enough, as they say, is enough. And that kind of set it apart. The idea of orcs getting stronger when they kill you, and you respawning, and your whole... Like, I like games that integrate player death into the mechanic, like Dark Souls and stuff like that. The way they integrate it here, you know, whoever killed you rises up the ranks, and you can go get vengeance on whoever killed you. And that was a neat little thing. It added just this little extra dynamism, yes, right. It's one of those words I've written a lot, but never actually said. I don't think I've ever said dynamism out loud before. You ever get that where you stop yourself from, because you realise that a word that you know and have seen a lot you've never said? I should really be talking about Shadow of Wardor. That's what they should have called it, Shadow of Wardor, by the way. I think that's a much better name. Warner Brothers could pay me for that one. The big tagline on Twitter this morning was something like, prepare for a new type of nemesis. It was like words to that effect, a new nemesis, etc. Hinting, I guess, at different enemy types. Hopefully, with what we've seen in that trailer, with full-scale war and everything, we might see some other regions, things like that. Just more variety, because as much as I enjoyed killing Nolan North doing his really not that great Cockney accent over and over and over again in Shadow of Mordor, a little bit more variety to it would be nice. One challenge this game will have is that video games love that whole War for Middle-earth thing. Just that bit right before the fall of Sauron. They love doing that bit. So it'll be interesting to see how they freshen that element up, what they bring to the story there. We're waiting on a full gameplay reveal, of course, but I think it's safe to say we can just expect more of what we saw with Mordor. Or Mordor is what we could expect. More. Wasn't as good as Wardor, but let's not worry about that either. Let's just plow on right through, okay? We're almost done, I think. Well, mechanically, I'm expecting everything to stay more or less the same. What I would really like to see is for the Nemesis system itself to be more expansive. And, lo and behold, that is one thing that Warner Brothers has promised ahead of time. They've said that the Nemesis system is not just going to be applied to enemies, but to the world itself. And this is quite ambitious. They're saying that everybody's game world's going to be different depending on their actions. That's probably a little overblown. That's hype talking. But I do like the idea that the world itself may change depending on what you do. I like it when games do that, and I'll be very interested to see how that and the Nemesis system work together, because they seem to be maybe different enemies that rise through those ranks, shape the world according to their own particular vision. Maybe it's something like that. That would be very, very cool. And I also would really like to see them expand on the idea of traits. The enemies in the game, the sort of named orc leaders that you had to kill, had various strengths and weaknesses, fears, things like that. I'd love to see more of that. I really like the idea of characters, enemies with different personality traits that you can exploit or that you have to work your way around. And if they can also integrate that with the Nemesis system more, I think we'll have a really, really robust skeleton upon which to drape more familiar open world trappings. So I am excited to see what they do there. The actual fundamentals of it, I'm not really all that eager to see, just because I think it'll be more of the same, like I've said. In fact, the irony now is I'm just repeating myself by saying more of the same. I'm giving you more of the same of me saying it'll be more of the same. That's something to ruminate on, is it not? So think on! Think about that! Alright, I'm done.